Say, man, I don't know her. She's too quiet.
What up, though? It's your girl, She's Too Quiet, and welcome back to the She's Too Quiet podcast. This podcast is for the ones who've been overlooked, underestimated, or simply too quiet for the noise of this world. I'm Tania, a fellow introvert and woman of faith, inviting you to find strength in stillness, clarity in solitude, and purpose in your quiet voice. Every episode, you'll hear reflections, devotions, and quiet confessions that remind you don't have to be loud to be powerful. And if you're listening, you're already a part of the Quiet Power Club, a space where we celebrate gentle strength and the God who meets us in the silence. Let's get into it. What up, though? Happy Friday. I am glad we have officially made it to the end of the week. I hope your week went well. I missed you guys last week on the podcast. I was home visiting family. I had a great time, but I am officially back. So today's episode is called Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Humanity. I wanted to leave you with something thought-provoking as we head into the weekend. It's a very relevant topic. It is very interesting, at least to me, and I am definitely interested in getting your thoughts on the subject. So I know a couple years ago, it was like AI is coming, but AI is officially here. It's in our workplaces, schools, hospitals, neighborhoods. It is everywhere. What are your thoughts? Are you using it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Nowadays, AI is writing reports. It is automating customer service. It's assisting doctors, replacing office tasks, creating art, music, changing education. It is really doing a lot. Do you think we're moving too fast? Who is regulating this? Should the government intervene and slow this train down? Those are a few of my questions that I have for you, and we're going to talk about it. So today, my quiet confession is I've always been a quiet observer, but when I look at AI, I don't just think about technology. I think about the people that it will affect. I want to anchor this, of course, in scripture. In Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9, this passage recounts the story of the Tower of Babel. So let me give you a brief synopsis of it. So after the flood, people all spoke one language and decided to stay together and build a massive tower. They said they wanted to make a name for themselves. The issue wasn't really about the tower itself, it was about the pride behind it. Humanity started believing their own power and achievements could place them above limits. So after that, God confused their language, causing people to stop understanding each other, and they scattered across the earth. That's where the term Babel comes from, because it's connected to confusion and broken communication. Ultimately, will AI lead to confusion and broken communication? I'd say so. In simple terms, I think it is happening, especially with a lot of people using it for all types of things. We're really starting to see a lot of misinformation out there. We are seeing things that we question now. Is it real or is it fake? So there are definitely a lot of things to think about. And so another thing when I think about the Tower of Babel and AI is the prideful fact of it. I feel like AI creates a lot of pride because you feel like I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're using it for presentations, if you're using it to, maybe on your job to come up with a cost saving solution and you end up saving the company a lot of money, which is great. but it always comes down to that whole can you show your work thing. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm articulating this right, but for example, let's just say you're a college student and you have been using AI all year to get you those A's, right? You land that job because now you are, an engineer, you have an engineering degree, and maybe you're out on a work site and you have no real way of recalling the information that you say you know because you used AI. You know what I'm saying? So pride got you what you wanted to get, or I hope I'm saying this right, but like you were so confident because of what AI could provide that you became prideful and boastful. And once you landed that job, you can't perform. Like, you can't do it off the top of the dome. Like, will you now always need AI to do your job? And that's that false sense of security it can create if you're not careful. So, in our text today, the people of Babel united around one goal to build something that civilized human achievement and power. Today, AI represents something similar: the pursuit of superintelligence, automation, standardization, and ultimately digital power and control. I think it is safe to say that AI will reshape civilization as we know it. So there's this quote that I love, and it says that there are two sides to every story and three when the truth gets told. I feel like that kind of alludes to the example. There will be a positive for AI, there will be a negative for the use of AI, and then there will be another story of the true effects of AI. And I just want to point out like some of the positives and negatives, and we can go from there. So, on a positive note, AI, of course, as we know, can do amazing things. Right now, critics rave at the possibility of AI assisting in curing diseases, improving education, and solving complex global problems. But on the flip side, AI can deepen inequality, it can entice unwarranted surveillance, like I talked about before, spread misinformation, and increase our dependence on machines. And we already see that now. We literally walk around with computers in our pockets, and it is disrupting our home life for some people. It is ruining some people's relationships, and people can't live life without it. That's how bad the dependency has become on technology. So, when we think about AI, can we really imagine how addicted we will become if we don't recognize its effects? So let's talk about regulation. Do you know if AI is regulated? I had to look this up and I came to find that it is regulated to an extent. In some countries, in most countries, it's largely fragmented, inconsistent, and still developing globally. One of the major difficulties that governments are facing is that AI changes extremely fast. I mean, that is the major draw. You are asking it questions, it's giving you responses, it's learning from you, it is interpreting very, very quickly. So, of course, governments struggle because laws move slowly. They got to go through all these different levels of approval, of course. AI companies are competing globally. Now you have different companies trying to choose which type of AI they want to invest in. And all in all, technology crosses borders instantly. So it's very hard to try to regulate something that can change at the snap of a finger. And I've even noticed now they're starting to find that AI can even create its own type of scamming technology, which is crazy. It's just so much. And then as we continue to talk about regulation, also another point of disagreement is how much regulation is needed, how much is necessary. And then, will these regulations really protect people? And, that's always a question. Who's looking out for the best interests of citizens? I know, guys. Honestly, it is so much. And right now, I think AI is evolving faster than society's ability to debate it. Here's another thought: accountability. Who's accountable when AI causes harm? Have y'all heard of Waymos or those Waymo cars? So basically, Waymos are self driving vehicles. And I don't know if you know this, but it is AI. They are using artificial intelligence to guide you through the streets of LA. So basically, I seen this video of a Waymo running a red light, right? So that led me down this rabbit hole of, okay, this self-driving vehicle runs a red light. I'm in the back seat scrolling on Facebook or watching TikToks as I am waiting for this car to drive me to the airport, right? I don't see it necessarily run the red light, but bloop bloop. All of a sudden a cop is trying to pull the car over, right? Who's responsible for the ticket? Is it the company? Am I responsible for paying this running the red light ticket from this self-driving car? And let's be honest, when I signed up for the car to pick me up, did I read the terms and conditions? Do I know if I signed something that said I would pay the ticket if this car did something wrong? Who would know that? We know we are not reading that when we are trying to get stuff done. So maybe I signed and said I would pay for it. Who knows? And another thought that I had is, I hate to go down this route, but it is very real. I'm not saying that I am not confident in the police and the judicial system, but let's just say Waymo is making so much money, they are completely okay with paying $300 for running a red light, right? Will this now encourage cops to pull over Waymos so that they can collect money for the county or for the court office so that they can build their bank account? You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to say everything is corrupt, but that can create another dynamic that we didn't think about. And I feel like this is going to be the hardest thing to overcome or find a solution for. There's going to be so much stuff inundated, I hope that's the right word, with AI that we are not going to even be aware. Our daily, our TVs, our phones, the way we order food, how we send messages, how we get places, AI is going to creep into every single last bit of it. And so when things go wrong, how are we going to identify responsibility? How are we going to do it? I don't know. In the next 5 to 10 years, if the Lord decides to spare time, where do you think we're headed? Do you think we will be less creative? Do you think we're going to have this whole intellectual property dilemma? Even now too, there's a lot of manipulation going on where people are uploading their photos into these AI generators, and they'll tell you, like, if you are agreeing to put your photo in here, I can use this however I see fit. So you may see yourself in a cartoon and you're like, whoa, that kind of looks like me. And it could be you. You know why? Because you gave them access to use your photo in whatever they wanted to produce, right? So we really have to think about some of these things, especially before we say, okay, I'm going to do this, or Yes, I give you this access. What does that really mean? What are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? You could be giving your likeness away. You can be giving your livelihood away. Just think about it. And then, like I said before, AI makes me think about people. Now, I was going to go into this whole spiel about sympathy, empathy, being desensitized, and I'm not going to touch a whole lot into that today, but I do want to just raise for your awareness that that is also on the line. um, it's happening now. We see a lot of things now so frequently that used to prick our hearts in the past before we got all this technology and stuff. And because we've been so inundated with it and because we see it so frequently, sometimes we have become desensitized to humanity and caring for others. For example, maybe you see a whole lot of homeless, less fortunate people on your TikTok and on your timelines. And before, you used to stop and give people money. But now you've seen so many people masquerading just for a video that they're homeless and they're not. Now you're less sensitive to the homeless. You don't give back like you probably would have in the past. And so there's a whole other dynamic too of so much infiltration of technology that I don't think that we really recognize. Let's get off of that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is there is a physical component to AI that I think people forget about. But right now, a lot of people are really tapped into it because it can affect their livelihood. Have y'all heard of data centers? If you don't really understand the controversy on data centers and communities, I encourage you to do some research on it. I can give you a little backstory on it to kind of help you understand. Again, we just talking, right? So I'm not an expert, but this is what I know. I'm going to try to articulate it as best I can. So basically, AI needs servers, right? And servers are housed in these data centers that they are putting in communities. And these communities are giving a lot of their resources to power these data centers and to make them work. So, guess who has to contribute to the data centers working and being in commission? The citizens. And so you need water to cool the machines down, right? So if you live in a community where a data center exists, your water bill may be higher to help support the data center. Electricity, that's a huge thing needed to power these servers where we're asking all of our questions. And this may be true, it may not be true. I did hear it in a stand up, but what he said was it takes one bottle of water to answer a question that we submit in one of those AI platforms, right? So, can you imagine how many questions people are asking and how much water that is taking? And we're probably asking it stuff we already know, right? I mean, I can attest to that. Sometimes I have asked the stupidest questions that I already know, but I just want to make sure or double check. And like even the trusting of yourself, you're trusting your own thoughts and abilities is gonna be like shaky. Are you okay with that? Are we gonna become vegetables? Are we gonna become these people that don't now know anything anymore? Questions, okay? I just have questions. But let me wrap this episode up. I could probably talk a long time about this, but I do want you to sit with this question. Can humanity pursue advancement without losing wisdom, empathy, accountability, and reverence for human life? Do you believe we can stay grounded while pursuing progress? Is it possible? And it's so hard nowadays to get the simple things. To get the simple things done and regulated. Now it's just another monster that we're going to have to try to wrap our hands around, especially at the rate that it is being fed to us. That's today's episode, guys. I just want to drop something off a little thought-provoking for you as you head into the weekend. The future of AI may not depend only on what technology can do, but whether society stays involved in guiding it. Thank you for sitting with me for a few quiet moments today. I want to leave you with a song that reminds me to never think I'm above God's original design. The song is called We Join Them by Gap Worship. Just sit with it and let it meet you where you are. If this episode spoke to you, make sure you follow me on all platforms wherever podcasts are available. If you are on a platform that allows you to rate this podcast or leave a comment, please do so. I'd love to hear from you. As always, don't forget to do two things: that's love God and love people. This is for the soft-spoken and deeply felt. Until next time, deuces.